Hey, you guys, if we haven't met, I'm Mayer Cunningham, special education boss, helping families and individuals that sit at the 504 IEP table navigate successful student outcomes. Today, we're talking about general ed, special ed, any kiddo in Texas who was required or requested to take the state test, the STAR test. So those are going to be grades 3 through 12. Of course, we were or are in the middle of a pandemic. And so there were a bunch of moving pieces. And so our state, the Texas legislation, passed and funded, which will be a whole nother different seminar. They passed and funded this bill regarding state testing for those that didn't pass and or didn't participate. And so all of this information is coming out, and all of my parents and friends and administrators and teachers all have a different version of it. And so I just wanted to clean that up. We were going to go over the version that TEA, the Texas Education Agency, has put out. And I'll provide you the link beginning. So any questions regarding this House Bill 4545? Any questions regarding the implementation of it should be emailed to accelerated.instruction@tea.texas.gov. I'm gonna tell you that again. So it's accelerated.instruction@tea.texas.gov. And so as the document increases and there's more questions about it, they will just keep adding on to the document, kind of like we did at the beginning of COVID. And certainly we'll come back and address those questions and provide those updated links and information. I do know that in the month of August, TEA will be rolling out more instruction and resources for districts. And so we'll make sure that we provided you that as well. And so you can find that on Special Education Boss Facebook, Special Education Boss TikTok, and then of course, Special Education Academy on YouTube, where it will stay forever and ever and ever. So I'm going to read you this document, House Bill 4545, frequently asked questions from TEA. You can also get this off the TEA website. Right now it's 8 pages long. I'm sure it will end up being like 800 pages long. So general House Bill 4545 questions, and I'm just going to read them to you. It's a little bit, might be a little clinical, but I'm going to read you the question and the answer from TEA. So if you're a family that's going to be impacted by this, or you're going to be providing instruction direction around it, I would recommend you're a principal, a teacher, anybody at the school that you have this little handout so that we're not doing telephone. I heard that she heard that she heard. I've heard everything from scared parents already that they're going to have to stay after school for 30 hours of tutoring. So I'm here to Windex that, clean it up a little bit. And then that way we can all be on the same page. So question number 1, what is the implementation timeline for House Bill 4545? House Bill 4545 is effective immediately starting June 16th, 2021. It applies to accelerated instruction requirements for or delivered during 2021-2022 school year. It's the school year we're about to start. LEAs, that's local education agencies, should evaluate spring STAR scores. So the STAR scores should have all been delivered the schools by June or July. The LEA must, as soon as possible, i.e. over the summer, adopt a policy for contesting the content or implication of educational plans developed by accelerated learning committees. So for this school year, because obviously the summer is over, you guys, some of you guys have already started school, some of you guys are about to start school. So for this school year, accelerated instruction, and for those of you that maybe have never been in special ed or know what accelerated instruction is, it is a plan that committees or schools implement and then submit to the state to close gaps or address gaps for kiddos with academic deficits. Accelerated instruction for any student who did not pass the STAR test, grades 3 through 8, or EOC assessments, that's end of course. So you have to take those in 9th, 10th, and 11th grade. Or subsequent summer 2022, and accelerated instruction entails either 1, assigning a classroom teacher who is a certified master, exemplary, or recognized teacher. Remember that. Assigning a classroom teacher who is a certified master, exemplary, or recognized teacher, or delivering supplementary instruction, tutoring before, after school, or embedded in the school day to meet the requirements. Okay? So it has to be one of those teachers if it's going to be in the form of the classroom teacher has to be certified master, exemplary recognized teacher, or delivered supplementary instruction before, after school, or embedded in the school day. So that's a lot going on. Or accelerated instruction delivered in the summer of 2021, which is already passed. Okay. Accelerated Learning Committee. This is really important that you figure out who the committee at your school is, not some lady called and said. We love that. Some lady called and said. We don't do that. Okay. LEAs, local education agencies, are required to establish accelerated learning committees, ALCs, for all students who did not pass the STAR test in grades 3, 5, or 8, beginning at the start of the year. 3, 5, or 8. Let's say it together. 3, 5, or whatever age is, right? Let me make this more complicated. In August, however, LEAs may find it's beneficial to start establishing these committees and developing individual student plans in the summer, when the summer's already passed. For the school year and beyond, that's where we are. We're at the school year and beyond. The committee must start to develop these plans based on the latest STAR results. So, question, how should we categorize students who did not take the STAR test in the spring? Should they automatically be categorized as a student required an accelerated instruction program? Prior law says that a student who does not perform satisfactorily on, which is approaches grade level on a STAR assessment, these requirements are included in the following sections, as several of the statutes and codes. It also indicates 19 TAC 101.2005C indicates students that are absent or otherwise did not have valid assessments, did not perform satisfactorily, and as a result are required to receive accelerated instruction. However, the commissioner and gubernatorial waivers offered during the school year altered the assessment requirements framework for that year. So as a result, if a school system administers an assessment designated to show grade level proficiency on the TEKS beginning at the beginning of the year as an optional STAR, and that assessment shows the student achieved satisfactory performance, school systems may decide locally as to whether these students must be given the accelerated instruction. Did you get all that? So first, you want to make sure your school has a committee, right? And then the committee could provide a BOI, a beginning of the year STAR test release to see if, hey, does Billy Smith perform satisfactorily? If he does on that test, then you don't need an accelerated plan, accelerated plan of instruction. Next question, number 3. We believe our LEA, or our local education agency, will deliver sufficient accelerated instruction in the summer. How do we determine that acceleration? Summer's already over. If you got the summer thing, hallelujah. Number 4, when is the parent right to request a teacher effective? House Bill 4545 establishes that a parent has the right to request a particular teacher for their student. To better manage staffing and scheduling in advance of the start of the year, TEA recognizes that LEAs offer parents the opportunity to request a different teacher over the summer. So kind of what we talked about before, right? Master, recognized, or what was the other one? Master, recognized, or master teacher, exemplary teacher, or recognized teacher. And we'll give you the information how to find them at the end. So you can request that as a parent. Let's see, that's the summer. Do the accelerated learning committees apply in addition to admission review and dismissal ARD committees, or does the ARD committee create the plan? An ARD committee is a special ed committee, kiddos that receive specialized instruction. The ARD committee acts as accelerated learning committee for students in grades 3, 5, and 8 receiving special education services. The ARD committee must meet to address the student's need, and for students in special education, the IEP effectively replaces the plan. Oh, did you hear that? Let's read that again. ARD committee must meet to address the student's need for accelerated learning, and for students in special education, the IEP effectively replaces the accelerated learning plan required in House Bill 4545. The accelerated learning committee would need to establish for other students in grades 3, 5, and 8 who did not pass the STAR. Okay, so all of you guys in special education who are being told by the ARD committee, you have to come in and develop a 30-hour plan. It's question 5 on the TEA House Bill 4545 frequently asked questions. So I love an ARD meeting. I love another meeting, not a requirement. The IEP effectively replaces that. Number 6, does the TEA have guidance and examples to guide our implementation of the learning committee on new board policy regarding parent grievances? The TEA will release these resources August 2021. Supplementary instruction tutoring questions. At what frequency does tutoring have to be conducted to meet the requirements? If delivered during the summer, we've already passed it. If delivered during the normal school operating days during 21-22, tutoring must be delivered at least weekly to meet the minimum hours of the minimum of 30-hour threshold. Note, this requirement applies per subject. Students who did not meet grade level in both reading and math would be required to have 60 hours of support, and potentially more for grades 5 and 8. Okay. Does local education agency need permission from parents if tutoring will be delivered in a tutor to student ratio greater than 1:3? Yes. Yes. The LEAs must seek written permission from parents in advance of tutoring if tutoring will be delivered in a ratio greater than 1:3. For tutoring delivered in the fall, this permission must be on file in early 2021. This written permission would need to be obtained for all students in that particular group of supplementary instruction, as it would be in a group larger than 1, 2, 3. Permission to go beyond 3 to 1 must be obtained for the student, parent, or guardian. Waivers for this provision are not applicable, available from TEA. Number 9, will the TEA's pre-approved tutor list provide options for rural areas? Yes, TEA is currently planning to provide pre-authorized tutor provider coverage across Texas regions, including rural areas. Please note that LEAs are also able to select tutor providers that are not in the TEA's pre-approved tutor list. The list is simply one source of vetted tutor providers who will deliver tutoring in alignment with the requirements. The list will include a mix of in-person and virtual tutoring options. Number 10, does tutoring have to be provided this fall as part of 4545? The accelerated instruction changes applied to the 21-22 school year. LEA should use the spring STAR results to determine 2021 whether that's needed. This accelerated instruction must include tutoring. So I would start as quickly as you can. Could you choose an online program in place of a tutor? Tutoring can be delivered using an online program, either in person or virtually. However, the online program must be facilitated by a tutor that meets the requirements defined in the statute, including that the tutor receive training in alignment with the instructional materials, and that the tutor is assigned to the student for the duration of the supplementary instruction when possible, and that the tutor is delivered one-on-one. How can I learn more about how to leverage programs like ST Math Tutoring, and similar programs provide students with self-directed learning experiences and can be a strong option for tutor delivering. Learn more by clicking grades K-5 supplementary tab here. There's a little tab there that you can click. The TEA will provide a webinar later this summer to share guidances on how to effectively leverage ST Math and similar programs in their tutoring services. Note, to meet House Bill 4545 requirements, there must still be a tutor supporting the student who meets those requirements noted in question 5. How can I learn more about how to stand up an effective tutoring program? TEA has a released webinar series, an implementation toolkit, and workshop series opportunity to support LEAs in standing up an effective tutoring program. You can find these resources at TEA's Strong Start page. TEA's Strong Start page. Because tutoring requirements are now in state law, will we be able to use funds? Not them. How do we find time to provide required tutoring to students if we can't take them out of regular instruction, resource, or enrichment time? Where would I get support in this area? TEA recommends the following as best practices in master scheduling. Identify scheduling priorities first and make those non-negotiable. Consider innovative solutions like adjusting blocking, rotation, time before, after school, and innovative models, blending learning to achieve priorities. To the extent possible, consider extending the school day or school year to create more opportunities for tutoring over the course of the year. Leverage additional resources, i.e. ESSER funding, to purchase access to time-saving scheduling software to complement and expedite the district scheduling processes. Plan a second schedule that provides varieties allotted in Tier 2 instruction. And then there's this very big fancy chart. You'll have to go online and look at the fancy chart yourself. It's very fancy. Okay, TEA again will provide a webinar series to support local LEAs in master scheduling process. Again, TEA offers technical assistance resources and tools. Look at the Start Smart program. Teacher assignment questions. If we don't have an approved teacher incentive allotment designated system in our district, is there another way to meet the requirements for assigning students to master, exemplary, or recognized teachers? The answer, in addition to having an approved list of optimal teacher design systems, district can also support their teachers in earning designations by helping teachers pursue or complete their national board certification. Teachers with an active national board certification will also earn a recognized designation if they meet the following requirements. 1, they are coded by their employee district as 087, Roll ID, or TSDS class roster winter collection. Or 2, they haven't updated their information to indicate in their current district with the National Board Certified Teachers Directory. Districts can search for National Board Certified Teachers in the National Board Certified Teacher Directory. Is it possible that a district without an approved TEA designation system could employ a teacher who received a designation while working in a different district? Designations and their expiration dates remain on the State Board of Certified Educators virtual certification, even if a teacher transfers between districts. How can districts look up which teachers are currently designated? And that would be parents too. All of us can look it up. You can confirm that a teacher is currently designated by searching their State Board for Education certification, virtual certification. That's a click through on TEA's website, or it's also in this supplement. Teachers that are currently designated will have their designation and expiration date reflective in the top right corner. Please note that these teachers whose expiration dates have passed no longer meet this certification. And the choices are designated master teacher, designated exemplary teacher, and designated recognized teacher. In the future, a list of teachers with designations will be possibly able to be generated in the ECOS for certification support. Now, it was a lot of information, but I think it's really important that we're as clear as possible so that we're not making phone calls. You got to come in and sign up for 30 hours of tutoring. You have to come before school, after school. This is a collaborative process, whether you're gen ed, special ed. Yes, Mike Morath, the TEA director, Texas Education Director, did say last year that you did not have to come into a school and take the STAR test. So that was applicable to many families. Many families stayed home and were remote. So that was said. However, in summer, it was funded and passed that this is still something that we're going to require. So again, it's those grades 3, 5, and 8. 3, 5, and 8. What were your scores in the spring, right? If you didn't pass, you didn't take it, there's an assumption you didn't pass. So if you didn't take it or you didn't pass, just approaches is didn't pass, you are going to be, if you're general ed, you're going to have to get these hours of accelerated instruction. If it's in more than one area in your general ed, you would have to have up to 60 if it's math and reading, right? Your special education, the ARD committee, the IEP, Individualized Education Plan, serves as your accelerated plan. So I just want to clarify that for everybody as it reads. I'm going to read you the part about special ed again, just because there's 600,000 children in Texas. 600,000 children in Texas have an IEP, an Individualized Education Plan. So let me read that again. Number 5, do the accelerated learning committees apply in addition to the special ed committee? The answer is special ed committee acts as the committee for students in grades 3, 5, and 8 receiving special education services. The committee must meet to address the student's need for accelerated learning. And for students in special education, the IEP effectively replaces the plan. So an accelerated learning committee would need to be established for other students in grade 3, 5, and 8 who did not pass. So it effectively replaces the plan. So we're going to post this. This will be on our YouTube channel, Special Education Academy. If you have any questions, just let us know at admin@specialeducationacademy.com.